Well, woke up this morning again to some random changes by Wildcard. This time they've actually chucked it out onto live. The Cryopod changes have been released, the survival of the fittest is now live, and the Winter Wonderland event is happening. Yeah. So, again, there's changes in here that were not actually documented on the PTR, so we had no ability to check these settings. They never actually did enable the PTR to work on private servers, so never would have even been able to have the option to test these things. So what are they? Well, to summarise what happened with the cryopods and the cryofridges, they're trying to make the dino storage without actually allowing us to use cryopods effectively. So the idea is that you put down a cryofridge, you have to wait 5 minutes for that fridge to activate. You need to have a powered cryofridge as well. So take the 5 minutes is when you put the fridge down, but then you still need to add a power source to be able to use the fridge to be able to deploy your creatures. So you can always pick up a creature with a cryopod wherever you like, and that one actually doesn't really matter too much. But to be able to throw out a creature from a cryopod, you need to be within 6,500 units, which is about 21 foundations from a cryo fridge that is activated. And then for PvP, they're actually making that if there is any enemies within range, 3,500 units, which is around 11 to 12 foundations, you won't be able to release your creatures either. If the dino's been damaged, you can't cryopod it. I love this one. I'm glad that they did it. The mating cooldown will actually go down while it's inside a cryopod. Cryofridge storage is apparently been increased to 120, because the whole idea behind this whole thing is so that we have dino storage. So they're really crimping on the style of being able to use the pods in any effective way, just so that we have somewhere where we can store them. And it's quite clear that the idea is that you have a cryofridge back at base. There's a range around your cryofridge that you can deploy your creatures, and they're trying to not allow you to use the creatures from storage while in combat, at least from a PvP side of things. That seems to be my read on roughly why they've done it the way that they've done it. But what else have we got? So the cryopods can now be queued in a supply drop. I don't remember that one being in the patch notes on the PTR again, so it's an undocumented change. Cryopodded dinosaurs can be stored and displayed in a display case structure. Ooh, I like that. But again, it wasn't on the PTR for us to have a look at and bloody try. And here's the bloody real kicker, right? And this is what makes it okay for me. I won't say that it'll make it okay for everybody else. They've added some ini file settings where you can disable the enemy check. So if you're on a PvP private server, you can turn off that enemy check so that people can use their cryopods on defense. They just recently prevented the cryo fridges from being able to be put on platform saddles, so we were thinking that we could use things like a Quetz as a mobile platform base where you could bring your cryo fridge around where you wanted to deploy your creatures, and then they disabled that on the PTR without actually telling us why. But they put an ini file setting for that one, so on a private server you can disable, you can make it so that you can put a cryo fridge back on saddles or rafts. And the last one is that you can just disable the fridge requirement altogether on your private servers. And so that's pretty much what I will probably end up doing. I'm going to get these onto my server. I'm going to find out whether or not the cryo mod that I had is corrupted my files. Well, that one's going to be a fun one to work out. But yes, so it looks like in terms of official, what I just said, my assumptions are their thinking, because at the end of the day, they haven't articulated really beyond that they just want dino storage early, the actual understanding of why the changes to the cryopods have actually been done the way that they have been done. What are they actually trying to prevent here? We can only assume that it's that they're trying to really crimp it down so that it is just storage by itself. But will they release this requirement later on? Once we get to extinction, are they going to change it in another way? Or, it's really... yeah, they're not really giving much of their thoughts on why they're doing things the way that they're doing. And then there's the fact that the PTR, they had a PTR patch note section, and half of this stuff wasn't documented for people to actually try. They didn't even make it so that private servers could access the PTR version so that we could actually try these ini settings and actually see them in the flesh. And then all the complaints that people would have had around the introduction of cryopods, they probably would have been a lot less, because people would have just gone, okay, well this is on official, well, we'll have maybe a little bit of whinge about official, but at least you've got the ini file changes so that private servers have a lot more control. But none of this was actually articulated up front, and so I'm a little bit disappointed in that. But you know, it is here now, and it assuages my feelings at the very least. But if yours are not, or maybe they are, let us know down in the comments. Otherwise, you know, private servers have always got the option of chucking mods onto their servers, despite how buggy some of them can be at times. That will do on cryopods, as well as cryofridges. So survival of the survival of the fittest is back though. So if you were ever interested in the survival of the fittest battle royale, I personally haven't ever done it. I'm not particularly interested in it, but I know that it was a very fun thing that a lot of people were doing, and it is now available again in Ark Survival Ascended. Beyond that, we have the Winter Wonderland event. So we have the Christmas event out. Once again, it is a mod with a mod ID. All you need to do is plug it into your events on your private servers, and you can run that event whenever you like. Well, what an interesting set of patch notes. There's also a huge long list of little fixes here and there across the way. So it's obvious that beyond some of these changes that they're introducing in events, they are still plugging away at a massive long list of fixes that they need to do to try and get this game working. I find that it still needs a lot more time to get to a state where I would say that it is wonderful. The server stability that I'm working with is actually coming a lot better, but I know that I'm still seeing a lot of variability on people's experiences depending on the server providers, as well as the vagaries of each individual system. Yeah, I guess I'm happy with the progress of the game overall, but I do know that I probably think it's going to take a little bit longer before it's actually at a state where I would say that it is great. At the moment, it's playable for me. Why don't you let me know how it is for you? Anyway, thanks for listening in, and my usual rambling first thing in the morning as I wake up to these patch notes, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.